My dear, I can't return to the warmth we lost, but I carry the ache like a secret flame. I can't return to the place where love turned silent and hearts broke in the shadows. Returning means reopening wounds I've barely learned to stop bleeding from. I'm gone where your eyes no longer reach. Returning would only drown me again. I can't return to a love that taught me how to feel alone in a crowd. The door I left behind never truly closes, but I can't walk back through it. Returning feels like pretending the past never screamed beneath our quiet smiles. I can't return to the moments when your touch was kindness and not a weapon. I left with pieces of myself you never learned to hold gently. Returning risks losing them all. Some roads close quietly. I can't return without shattering the fragile peace I've found. I can't return because the me that left is all that remains now. The love I lost is a ghost I can't invite back into my haunted heart. I can't return to the empty promises that echoed louder than your goodbye. Returning means believing in us again, and I'm too afraid to trust that myth. I can't return where silence replaced the music we once danced to. I left to find myself. Returning means surrendering my rebirth to your memory. I can't return. My soul has rewritten its story without you in the script. The past is a room I've locked. Returning throws away the key to my freedom. I can't return to your arms. They became the chains I broke free from. Some love stories don't have endings. I can't return to our unfinished chapter. I can't return to the nights where your absence felt louder than your presence. I left because staying meant losing myself beneath your shadow. Returning is a betrayal to the healing I fought so hard to claim. I can't return to the eyes that stopped seeing me, even when I screamed. The heart learns to forget. I can't return to what it erased. I can't return where love was a battlefield, and I was left bleeding. I can't return to the lies disguised as for better or worse. Leaving was my silent prayer for peace. I can't undo that sacred wish. I can't return to the smiles that hid your distance like a knife. I can't return to you because I'm no longer who I was when I loved you. Returning means walking back into the storm I barely survived. I can't return to the us that vanished without a trace of mercy. My goodbye was a prayer for my soul's survival. I can't undo it. I can't return because my heart refuses to be a battlefield again. I left to breathe. Returning would suffocate every breath I've taken. I can't return. Your silence taught me how to be alone, truly alone. I can't return to the echoes of promises you never meant to keep. Returning is rewriting pain in fresh ink. My heart can't bleed again. I can't return where love turned into a prison without walls. I can't return because the person I was with you no longer exists. I left to find light. Returning means walking back into darkness. I can't return where your husbands became weapons and my heart the battlefield. Returning is a choice I refuse to make, for my peace is priceless. I can't return because my soul learned to heal without you. I left to save my spirit. Returning would drown it in sorrow. I can't return to the dreams you shattered without a second thought. Returning means believing in your love again, and I'm too broken for that. I can't return to the home where your heart no longer lived. I can't return because my silence now speaks louder than your lies. I left to find truth. Returning means surrendering it to your shadows. I can't return where love felt like a fading ghost in the night. Returning would mean embracing the hurt I swore never to touch again. I can't return to the cold spaces your absence carved in me. I left because staying meant forgetting who I truly am. Returning is risking the peace I've built from your ashes. I can't return where your love was a storm I never wished to survive. I can't return because I'm learning to love the silence you left behind. I left to heal. Returning breaks the fragile threads of my recovery. Returning means walking into the fire I barely escaped. I can't return because my heart chose freedom over familiar pain. I can't return to the love that taught me how to be invisible. Returning is revisiting the scars that now tell my story of survival. I can't return where your absence became my cruelest companion. I left to find myself. Returning means losing who I've become. I can't return to the echoes of your forgotten promises. Returning means opening the door to heartbreak's familiar embrace. I can't return because my soul craves peace, not your shadow. I left because staying meant drowning in a sea of empty words. Returning is a path I refuse to walk for my heart's sake. I can't return to the love that taught me how to let go. I can't return because your silence shouted louder than any goodbye. Returning means risking the fragile hope I now carry inside me. I can't return to the pain that once lived in your eyes. I left to protect my soul. Returning would betray that sacred promise. I can't return to the dreams we built on broken foundations. Returning means pretending your love never left me bleeding. I can't return because my heart chose survival over your memory. I left because staying meant losing the light inside me. Returning is a story I refuse to write again. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I can't return to the cold spaces where your warmth once lived. Returning means surrendering to a past that no longer holds me. I left to find love's true meaning. Returning betrays that quest. I can't return where your love was a whisper lost in storms. Returning means walking back into a cage I broke free from. I can't return because my heart is no longer yours to hold. I left to heal. Returning would tear open the fragile wounds closed. I can't return to the silence that swallowed our promises whole. Returning is a betrayal to the peace I've fought to earn. I can't return where love died quietly beneath our fading smiles. I can't return because I am no longer the person who loved you. Returning means rewriting pain with fresh tears I refuse to shed. I left to find freedom. Returning would shatter it like glass. I can't return to the shadows where your love once hid. Returning is a step back into a past that no longer defines me. I can't return because my heart beats now to its own rhythm. I left because staying meant losing the truth of who I am. Returning means inviting heartbreak to dance once more in my soul. I can't return to the love that taught me how to say goodbye. I left and learned. Some returns are impossible, and some healing is final. I can't return because your shadow no longer darkens the path I walk. Returning means trusting a love that once taught me fear, not peace. I left to protect my soul's light. Returning would smother it again. I can't return where your promises turned to dust in my hands. Returning is reliving the silence that shattered our once vibrant song. I can't return to the pain that once sculpted my broken heart. I left because your love became a question with no answer. Returning means reopening the wounds that only time can truly heal. I can't return to where your absence echoed louder than your words. I left to find my voice. Returning silences it with your ghosts. Returning is a step backwards in the dance I now lead alone. I can't return where the love I knew faded into shadows. I left to find peace. Returning is surrendering that precious gift. I can't return because my heart rewrote its own language without you. Returning means chasing a ghost that no longer haunts my dreams. I left because loving you taught me how to survive alone. I can't return where hope died beneath unspoken goodbyes. Returning is reliving the storm when I finally learned to sail. I can't return to the dreams that turned into silent screams. I left to reclaim myself. Returning betrays that brave choice. I can't return where your love was a shadow fading at dawn. Returning means believing in us when the world told me otherwise. I left to find light in darkness. Returning dims that flame. I can't return because the heart I have now refuses your ghost. Returning is risking the fragile peace my soul finally earned. I left because loving you felt like losing myself every day. I can't return where your silence was the loudest scream. Returning means walking into the fire I barely escaped unburned. I can't return to the love that taught me to let go. I left to heal the cracks your absence carved deep inside me. I can't return because your memory no longer holds me hostage. Returning is a lie I won't tell myself again. I left because the love we had wasn't enough to keep me whole. I can't return where your promises were broken shards in my hands. Returning means reopening the door to heartbreak's cruel embrace. I left to find myself. Returning means losing that hard-won freedom. I can't return to the silence where our love slowly died. Returning is a step back in a journey I must walk forward. I can't return because my soul found a new song without you. I left because your love became a question with no answer. I can't return where your absence turned my heart into stone. Returning means believing in a past that no longer exists. I left to breathe. Returning means drowning in your forgotten words. I can't return because the me you loved no longer exists. Returning is risking the fragile peace I fought to keep alive. I left because staying meant surrendering my soul to your silence. I can't return to the love that was a slow, quiet death. Returning is a lie I refuse to tell myself again. I left to find peace. Returning means giving it all away.